welcome to the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast, a place for you to find the courage you need to take the first step and every step thereafter to create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. I'm your host, health and life coach, Abby Hegney. Let's dive in. Welcome back to episode 42 of the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast. I'm your host, Abby Hegney, and this is a place for women who want to feel healthy and confident while living the life that they love. And I laugh every time I get on to record one of these episodes. Without fail, my dog goes crazy barking. So I hope that you cannot hear her in the background of these episodes. But if you do, she's always there and it's perfect. She's very consistent. And that's exactly what we are going to be talking about today. I have been thinking a lot about consistency lately. I have been coaching on this a lot inside Confident Mind and Body and have seen firsthand how rigid expectations around consistency can amplify your inner mean girl and throw you off track, even when you are making incredible progress towards your goals. And in addition to that, this is perfect time for me to be talking about consistency because I just got back from 5 days in Miami with my husband, and my routine there was anything but consistent. So if I am looking at it compared to my normal, everyday, feel my best routine, it was far from that. And there is a time in my life when stepping away from my routine for even a few days would have sent me into a spiral. And I would have told myself that I had fallen off track, that I had messed up, or that I had lost all of my progress. But I don't do that anymore. And that shift comes down to how I now define consistency. I hear from women all of the time that they struggle with consistency, that they can never stick with anything. I get it. I have been there and I know those stories well. They're frustrating. They make it feel so hard. They convince you that you can't do it. They're also the stories that keep you searching for the right way, for the perfect plan, for the thing that will finally work. You look to others and you think, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Why can they do it and I can't? You search online, you go into the Facebook groups and you gather everyone's opinion, trying to figure out what works. And in that search, you completely miss how consistent you actually are. You're consistent in doubting yourself. You're consistent in thinking that others can do it, but you can't. You're consistent in believing that there is a right way and you haven't found it yet. You're consistent in questioning whether you will ever be able to create the change that you want. You're consistent in waiting for the perfect moment for life to slow down, to feel ready, or maybe you are consistent at talking yourself out of it, turning yourself around, making it harder than it needs to be. Most of us do not struggle with consistency. We are very consistent. The problem isn't consistency. It's what we are consistent with. And I know that it may not feel like it, but that is actually good news. Because if you are consistent in what keeps you stuck, you can be consistent in what moves you forward. Right now, your inner mean girl is telling you stories that convince you that you don't have what it takes, that you can't do it, that you can never stick with anything, that you're incapable of creating the habits and the confidence and the change that you want. And those stories feel true because you are focused on what you haven't been consistent with, the habits that you want to build, but you haven't yet. But now, knowing that you are consistent, when she feeds you those stories, you can catch them. You can remind yourself that you are consistent. You have the ability to be consistent. You have proof of consistency, and you are willing to work on being more consistent in the areas of your life that move you closer to where you want to be. And your inner mean girl is always looking for proof. She's always looking for evidence. That's why we gravitate to all of the things that we haven't done. That is easy proof. It's also proof in what keeps you stuck. We want to flip the script. We want to redefine consistency, not by a measurement of time or frequency, how many times that you went to the gym or ate healthy or hit your numbers, but as the ability to keep showing up for yourself no matter what. Your ability to handle challenges and hold belief in what is possible and what you are capable of. Consistency in quieting your inner mean girl and all of her stories and building your confident self, reminding yourself of what you are capable of, what you are willing to navigate and to figure out. Consistency in becoming the woman you want to be with the habits and the confidence and the life that you want and deserve. So let's start with what makes consistency feel so hard. Most people think about consistency in terms of time and frequency. It's how many times they work out each week, how many healthy meals they eat in a row, how many days they meditate or they journal, or how many days they hit their goals with drinking water. But when you think about consistency in terms of time and frequency, it's really based on everything going according to plan. And this definition of consistency based on time and frequency is flawed because it assumes that everything will go perfectly. But let's be honest, life likes to life. You set a goal, you make a plan, and then life throws you curveballs. Work gets busy, your kids get sick, you forget an appointment, you oversleep, your husband gets home from work late, your schedule shifts, and suddenly your plan isn't going so perfectly anymore. You miss a day or two or more, or maybe you've been so consistent that your body is actually sore from all of the work that you've been putting in and you simply need a break. When you believe you struggle with consistency, those missed days feel like a failure. I was just coaching a client on this the other day. She had been crushing her workout routine. She'd been catching the stories that her inner mean girl had always been feeding her. Stories like, you don't feel like it. You can just do it tomorrow. You're too tired. And because she was able to now catch those stories, she was showing up for herself daily, being really consistent, feeling really good. She could feel her body getting stronger. She had more energy. She was being able to keep up with her kids. She was more present. Then life happened. She worked out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But by Thursday and Friday, unexpected work projects came up and she missed her workouts. And then on Saturday, she had to travel. So she spent the day traveling and she missed another day. By the time she came to our call, she was convinced that she had failed. She was frustrated and disappointed. And I could see the motivation and the energy slipping away from her. But here is what she wasn't seeing. She wasn't seeing the workouts that she had accomplished Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. She wasn't seeing all that she had done. She was only focusing on what she hadn't done. She was measuring consistency in terms of streaks, in terms of time and frequency. And that's where we get it wrong. When we define consistency as never missing, we reinforce the stories that keep us stuck. Stories like, I knew I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. I can never stick with anything. I always fall off track. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. And that right there is the real pattern, the real problem. Consistently doubting yourself, consistently giving up, consistently proving your inner mean girl to be right. That's why the change you want feels so hard. It's not because you lack consistency in your habits, but because you've been consistent in keeping yourself stuck. But if you can be consistent in talking yourself out of things, you can be consistent in talking yourself into things. And that starts right now. Let's redefine consistency. Consistency isn't about perfection. It isn't about streaks. It isn't about doing something every single day for the rest of your life and never missing a day. Consistency is about keeping your feet and your face pointed in the direction that you want to go, always. It's about continuing to believe in what is possible and what you are capable of. It's about always coming back. No matter how many days you miss, no matter how long it's been, no matter what life throws your way, the version of you who is consistent isn't the woman who never struggles. She's not the woman who never doubts herself. She's not the woman who never falls off track. She's the woman who picks it right back up over and over again. She keeps believing that change is possible. She keeps quieting her inner mean girl and moving herself forward. She doesn't let one bad day turn into a bad week or a bad month or a bad year. She doesn't let her inner mean girl convince her to quit. She knows that change is possible because she keeps showing up. She keeps looking for the evidence that it's working. She keeps seeing what she is doing, how good she feels. That's real consistency. That's the kind of consistency that builds real confidence, confidence that is unshakable. And if you want unshakable confidence, if you want bigger, faster results in your life, that's it. That's the way. That's why I created the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl method that you learn inside Confident Mind and Body. For 20 plus years of my life, I thought of consistency in terms of time and frequency, and it only ever left me feeling frustrated, disappointed, and defeated. It left me in the stories of my inner mean girl. It made it feel so hard. It's why I want to encourage you to redefine consistency for yourself, to see how consistent you already are in things that are keeping you stuck and be willing to shift your perspective, your decisions, and your actions to become more consistent in the things that propel you forward, the things that make you feel proud and confident, that show you what you are capable of and how creating it can be more simpler than you ever thought possible. I promise you, you are more consistent than you give yourself credit for. And in most areas of your life, if you are missing something or you quote unquote mess up, you don't throw in the towel. You don't let your inner mean girl take over and pull you down. You don't quit. You become resourceful. You find a solution. You take action. You move yourself forward. If you are standing at the bus stop in the morning with your kids and one of them says, Mommy, you forgot to pack my lunch, you don't think, well, guess I failed at being a mom. I messed up. I can't do it. I'm never packing lunches again. No, you may wish you didn't have to pack lunches again. You probably even feel frustrated that you forgot, but you don't take yourself out of the game. You'd give your child some money to purchase lunch that day at school, or you'd go home and you'd get the lunch and you'd drop it off at school when you had time. You would find a solution. And you'd also find your way back to making lunches the next day. The same thing at work. If you got caught up and you missed a meeting, you wouldn't tell yourself, I'm just not cut out for this job. You wouldn't quit. You would go on with your day. You'd go to the next meeting. You'd pick it right back up. But when it comes to showing up for yourself, you hold impossible standards of perfection. That is really what you are doing when you tell yourself you struggle with consistency. What you're really saying is, I can't do it perfectly. It's never about doing it perfectly. It's going to be messy, and life is going to offer you up challenges after challenges along the way. Consistency is building confidence to handle those challenges and to keep yourself going no matter what. From this point on, I want to encourage you to see consistency completely different, to start looking at consistency in terms of becoming the version of you that you want to be, the version of you who feels confident in who she is and what she does. Consistency in believing in what is possible and what you are capable of, and holding on to that belief no matter how messy your journey gets. I promise you that mess doesn't last forever. It's there because you are stepping out of your comfort zone and you're becoming a new version of yourself. And in order to get there, we have to be willing to go through the mess. And lastly, I want to encourage you to see consistency in picking it right back up, no matter how long it's been, no matter how many days you have missed, how far away you have taken yourself from what you want. Pick it right back up. This is one of the greatest skills you learn inside Confident Mind and Body. Your ability to quiet your inner mean girl, to pick yourself right back up, dust yourself off, and keep yourself moving in the way that you want to go is life changing. But it requires you to shed these false identities that you've been carrying around. It requires you to let go of the belief that you aren't consistent, that you can never stick with anything, that it's so hard and you'll never be able to do it. It requires you to redefine consistency and build your confident self-concept. That is the work. It's the work we would do together if you join me in Confident Mind and Body. And it's the work that will change everything for you. It will change your habits, your confidence, the decisions that you make, and the way in which you show up for your life, for you, and for everyone around you. So here is your challenge for this week. Decide right now that you're going to become the woman who always comes back, who picks it right back up. Not the woman who waits for Monday, not the woman who quits when life gets busy, not the woman who lets her inner mean girl run the show, not the woman who believes that she fell off track or she messed up or that she can't do it, but the woman who takes the next step even when it's messy, even when it's been a while. And if you are ready to truly quiet that inner mean girl and step into that version of yourself, I want you to join me inside a confident mind and body. This is exactly what we do. We rewrite the patterns that have kept you stuck. We build your confidence in a way that lasts, and we create a version of consistency that works in real life, your real life. It's not about having more discipline or more willpower. It's not about hitting the right numbers or the exact plan. It's about deciding to show up for yourself no matter what. I can't wait to help you make this decision for good. It starts with a free consultation. Schedule yours today and let's do this work together. I will talk to you next week. If you are ready to quiet your inner mean girl, I invite you to join me inside Confident Mind and Body, my private coaching program, where you will learn to quiet your inner mean girl and create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. Just visit wellnesswithabbych.com and schedule a free consultation.